Hello, today Ken and I are doing a short film. We're making Bere Bannocks as part of the Doors Open events which are taking place in September all over Scotland. This wee video is part of the Orkney Newsies' contribution to the event, the theme of which is living heritage, which is why we're making Bere Bannocks. This particular recipe has come out of the F. Marion McNeil's book, The Scots Kitchen, and it's been traditionally used in Orkney for a long time, and it's usually actually eaten with soups or with cheeses. At this point I can tell you that we've got half a pint of milk in the pan, a good ounce to an ounce and a half of butter, and a fairly generous portion of salt. As far as the recipe goes, that's all the actual quantities I can give you, because from here on in, if I'm following the recipe book, we've just to add the barley meal here, which is actually made or ground in Orkney by the Barony Mills. So we've just to add it until we get to what the class is a pliable dough. So here goes. Let's make our pliable dough. I should have said, sorry, that the milk needs to come to the bubble before we do this. I'll just turn my gas down ever so slightly. We're cooking it outside because traditionally it probably would have been cooked on an open stove somewhere, or it was easy to take when you're on the road or travelling or whatever. So we'll start and we'll just keep pouring it in until we get what I class therefore as a pliable dough. The Bere barley has actually been grown in Orkney now for hundreds of years. They think traditionally it was reputed to have been brought to Scotland by the Vikings. It's also grown in Caithness and the Western Isles, but not nearly to the same extent as it is in Orkney. Now, I think if we come closer here, Kenny, you'll see that that'll be what would be classed as a pliable dough. Now, you're going to have to be a wee bit careful because it's obviously going to be a little sticky and it's going to be warm. So at this point, we're just needing to turn it out onto a floured surface. We're going to be generous with the flour, just in case the dough's ever so slightly wet. And then just as I'm taking that off, I'll put my skillet on to heat. Now, it might be just ever so slightly wibbly wobbly, so just bear with me. Now, again, traditionally, this would have been a full-size dough, but I'm going to do it in 4 pieces today. I'm going to just do it all by eye. So we'll roll it a little. Bits that got away. Like I said, that might move, but we'll just go for it. So it's to be quite thin because it's to actually not take very long in the cooking. Now I'm going to turn these into just little circles. I'll only do 4 just now and see how it goes, then I'll finish it later. So we'll just use this little palette knife here just to roughly shape out my dough. Now keep your eye on your skillet because it is to be very hot, but you're not wanting these to burn. We're very lucky in Orkney to still have the Barony Mill, which still produces the flour in what was the traditional method. And now I'm going to let you into a little secret. I've never actually made these before, so I thought we could just learn together. And there's your first reason for me admitting that. I suppose I've actually only got 3, not 4. But that's okay, I'll just make some more in a minute. Now, the best way to test your skillet, excuse me, is to sprinkle, and if it starts to sizzle, you know it's going to be hot enough. Likewise, if it goes brown instantly, you know it's too hot. Now, the recipe actually states that it should be done over a fierce heat. So, I presume that was from a fire. So I'm just hoping, just within the next minute or so, that this will heat up into what would be classed as a fierce heat. The Doors Open events that take place are absolutely fantastic. They've been on the go for many years now, and it's always a privilege for Orkney News to take part in it. So we'll just, if you think they're just a wee bit thick, just flatten them out slightly. And if you come closer, Kenny, you might just hear it sizzle. Just sizzling ever so slightly, not too much. And again, traditionally these would have been eaten hot, but whatever fancies. The newer recipes, actually, they say it's somewhere between a scone and a pancake, but like I say, we're doing this for the living heritage theme of doors open, so I'm doing them just the traditional, the old-fashioned way. And you just need to keep your eyes, because they really won't take long, and because of the fact that your skillet is very hot, they could burn quite easy. So this will either be a video showing how to do it or how not to do it, depending on how it goes. So we'll just have a wee look, because you're only wanting to turn them once or twice. And this one's still needing a bit of browning. My gas is maybe just needing to heat up ever so slightly. You can actually sort of, if I was trying to describe it, you can almost hear it like rustling, almost like paper, which I presume is meaning it's really drying out on the one edge, and it's sizzling a little, so we'll just try flipping that one. And it's starting to brown, you see that, Kenny? So I mean, it's going to need another wee minute, but they are starting to brown. There you go. There's one that's definitely coming at. But still a staple. There's many people still eat Bere Bannocks in Orkney. In fact, you can buy them in the various grocers and things around. And it's a good thing as well, because the meal obviously gets ground into the flour, but the husks and things go out to the cattle field. So it's almost like a win-win situation. I'll just turn that one again. Yeah, they're definitely starting to come now. I can feel that they're changing. If you prefer things to be, not maybe as thick, just do it to your own tastes. Play about with it and see where you get to. And I'm going to just turn it down a wee bit, because I know the skiddle will... Oh, here, look, Kenny. Sorry, I know the skiddle will keep its heat, so that's fine. You see how this has gone brown? That's what I was saying to you. This would mean it would be too hot to put your bannocks on straight away. And we're just going to wait till they brown up ever so slightly more. And then, as an example of how to make Bere Bannocks, we're just about finished. If you're lucky enough to be able to get Orkney butter, make it with that, because I always think local ingredients, they go a long way when you're actually making things traditionally. So if you can get your hands on Orkney butter, but it won't matter if not. Yeah, I can definitely feel these starting to cook now. I'm actually quite looking forward to having them now. Like I say, I've never made them, but I have tasted them, and they're delicious, just with, well, I suppose the crumbly cheeses that you can buy, local crumbly cheeses as well. So I've quite enjoyed this. Our events, you'll know from the actual itinerary, or the virtual events start on Sunday at 3 o'clock, so this would all have been scheduled for that. But we'll stay up on the Orkney News YouTube channel, where you'll be able to watch it whenever you fancy. Oh, I'm starting to get quite pleased with these, Kenny. Do you think we should let them just get a wee bit browner, or are they starting to look cooked to you? Shrug of the shoulders. I think we're going to stop, because the last thing I want at this moment of time is for these to burn. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you take advantage of all the various Doors Open events, which, like I say, are all over Scotland. And it's great because, depending on what you're interested in with the traditional fairs and what have you, it'll actually be really quite informative, I hope. So with that in mind, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching on behalf of the Orkney News channel. See you soon. Bye.